Do you like playing God? Do you enjoy the pain and suffering of others? Perhaps you'd like to live vicariously through a digital environment and build the house and life of your dreams or nightmares, where success is almost guaranteed and you are the only one who decides the fate of the world around you. You decide your life. Your digital soul is at stake. Now imagine that will.i.am is there for some reason. You can't get away from him. Welcome to The Worst One, where I look at what I think is the worst in a series of things, be it a movie, video game, or cereal mascot for some reason. Then I try to explain why I think it's the worst while also making jokes that make air come loudly out of your nose sometimes. Today we're looking at The Sims. That's right, Will Wright's happy home designer and the ultimate weird girl whose parents pay for her college just so they can get some time away from her because she's on her 5th year for a 2-year degree kind of game. There are 4 mainline Sims games and plenty of spin-offs and console ports. My personal pick for the worst one is not Sims 1, 2, 3, or 4, but it is in fact a spin-off game that is a very weird early 2000s time capsule. The Herbs Sims in the City for the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. We're covering what is technically considered to be the sequel to The Sims Bustin Out on console, and I guess the prequel to the Herbs game on the DS. Herbs is The Sims, but the Black Eyed Peas are there, and the jobs are all terrible rhythm games, and it's incredibly lacking in what makes a Sims game a Sims game. You can't die because you're immediately resuscitated, you can't get married, you can't have a kid, and you're always stuck in an apartment alone with only your traffic cones to keep you company. All the things that you know and love about your digital dollhouse are swept away in a flood of weird, very early 2000s choices. I want to talk about this game more so out of a feeling of personal obligation. See, I love The Sims, and The Sims Bustin' Out on the GameCube was a way for me to play God while my grandma was using the computer for knitting patterns or RuneScape. So when the Herbs released, naturally I asked Santa for it, and since I believed in Santa for an unnaturally long time, I was gifted the Herbs Sims in the City for the Nintendo GameCube. However, once that new game smell wore off, the dreaded stink of bad game reared its ugly ass. I would compare this game to a fart. I mean, it happened, it smelled a bit, and I was disappointed. In myself and in Santa. Not the most intellectual of takes, but, you know, even nerds have to fart. Let's start off by talking about the menu system and user interface. You have your magic star power gauge, toilet, your upside down ladle, your knife and fork, and all your herbs' various other needs available right there in front of you. This game does not have a social or environment needs bar like other Sims games. It also does not have a super easy way to check your stats out, or skills. To check out any more information, you have to open up your ZAM, and no, ZAM is not a robot from the 80s. I don't know what this stands for, but it's essentially a cell phone that has everything stuffed into it. I mean, if we want to get down to the nitty-gritty, it's a PDA or a BlackBerry, but no one uses those anymore, and I'm trying to stay hip with the kids here. It's like an iPhone, but is less. You can even customize your horrible hollow phone to look even more early 2000s by collecting different skins and ringtones for it, because, you know, you can. Your ZAM also tells you what regions you have unlocked, your skills, and your stats under the goals page. My pets have urinated 95 times. That's almost as much as me. The ZAM also acts as an inventory and relationship screen. will.i.am seems to like me, but Fergie not so much. She does not want to get stupid with me. So there's sort of a main goal to this game. It starts off with you trying to make it big in the city, and will.i.am notices that you have talent to talk to people good, so he gives you your first apartment and cell phone, and then you have to go around talking to people good to improve your reputation or fame or social or star power meter to open up new zones to talk to people good in. Each of the zones has their own style that you have to conform yourself to so that people will let you talk to them good. My favorite zone is Neon East because, wow, it's just complete eye vomit. Glorious early 2000s eye vomit. Also, is that a Verizon ad? Do you think that this game is in the same universe as Alan Wake? Oh wait, Red Bull? Honda? How much product placement can one game have? Am I gonna get Joe Camel as a pet? You know, from the Camel cigarettes? Speaking of pets, the animals you do end up getting in Herbs just pee on anything and everything, and guess what? You can't get rid of them. They're thrust upon you like an ancient curse if you buy enough furniture for your apartment, and there's no way to delete them or thrust the burden of ownership onto another herb. On the plus side, you don't have to feed them or really interact with them at all, but it's kind of a nightmare when they just constantly drain themselves all over your apartment. In terms of having a job to make money, one of the things I like about the Herbs is that it's much more involved in things that didn't really need to be changed, like when they took cars away in Sims 4. By that I mean I like the idea of being able to act out my job, but I don't like that every job is a weird mini rhythm game, where you have to manage the area you're working in at the same time. If it worked well, at best it would be mindless and boring. Just like a real job, but it doesn't work well. And in fact, sometimes it doesn't work the way it's supposed to at all. Take the sushi chef job, for example. You have to make the sushi, clean up the restaurant, and take care of your hygiene. However, every time I've done this job, I've only really ever had to wash my hands once after finishing all the sushi, and then the job's done. The restaurant has been gross before, filled with empty plates of sushi, but every time I begin the job, it just cleans itself before I even start, so there's no real sense of urgency. I press the funny button to get green. You can level up your skills so that you get paid more for doing the same job, but honestly, if you just spam the model job in Big Boy Rich Town, you'll make enough money for whatever. On the subject of money, can we talk about the economy of this game really quick? It costs 1,200 simoleons to buy this nice, expensive toilet, and $50 for this toilet stall, when the expensive toilet only has 1 point on the other one stat-wise. I mean, sure, the fancy toilet looks like a toilet instead of Chester the Cheetah's sarcophagus, but with that much difference in price, I'll just have the death box, thanks. I bet the rich toilet doesn't even have a bidet. All you really end up doing in this game is hopping around from place to place doing stuff that really doesn't matter. Now, while that kind of sounds like the main point of video games, I'll make a food analogy since people seem to like comparing video games to food for some reason. Imagine you're at a buffet, and all of the entrees are feet. Now, they're all different flavored feet, but feet are still feet. If you're into feet, cool, but I was sold on a buffet with lots of different options and maybe also feet. Does that explain it? No? Alright. Okay. Herbs the Black Eyed Peas experience for the Xbox 360's worst Sim sin is that there's nothing here that would make me want to play it over any of the other Sims games. Even Herbs Sims in the City on DS would be a better experience than this. I mean, Herbs isn't a terrible game. It works. You can wrangle ferrets, and if you like will.i.am, I mean, there he is. However, as a Sims title, it's better off left alone, fading away into the sea of mediocrity and obscurity, like most games of its caliber. Thank you for watching. Please check out my other stuff. There's also things, and also more worst ones. Those are a series that I make that'll be up in the top right corner. I also have a Patreon that helps me out super good, and you can subscribe maybe. I don't know. That's up to you. Okay, goodbye.